Hi everyone, welcome to this live session. And you must have noticed my notifications earlier on Facebook that today I'm going to talk about mostly communication importance at workplace. Now, why do you think I'm talking on this topic? Because I think that this is one of the most important topic that people struggle at workplace. There are a lot of information which are kept inside you and you don't speak up just because you're scared or you think that what if something goes wrong. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ajinkya and I am a senior director at a healthcare IT company, and I manages mostly the implementation architecture of my clients. Now, when you look at my designation, you must be thinking that I am someone who is a technical, expert. I am someone who has a lot of technology background. I have a lot of experience in managing technical stuff. But let me tell you this. My background is something extremely different or exactly opposite what I'm doing right now. So I started my journey as a nurse in a hospital, and I was working in ICU as a nurse, and I worked there for 2 years. But let me tell you this, whatever industry it is, I found that communication is one of the most important skills that helps you grow in your career. When I was a nurse, I knew that documenting patients' health and the progress is so important so that, the doctors can read them, they understand how the things are going with them, and they take decisions. So you see how communication can drive decisions. Now, when I started working in an IT organization, I started developing this skill because immediately coming from a clinical background to a technology background, I struggled a lot. And I started developing the skills, and I have created a framework, a 16 years journey framework of how you can be an ace performer in your career, right? And one component of that framework is communication. Now, let me tell you this, or let me ask you this question. How many percentage do you think in like employees are affected by this communication problem? Do you have any idea how many percentage of employees are affected with this communication problem at workplace? Let me tell you this. There's a workstation, or whether there's a workplace, study that has been done, which tells that 86% of employees globally are affected by communication problem, and they do not collaborate just because they're not able to communicate properly. And in turn, there's also a study which tells that teams who performs or who communicates better has 25% year-on-year growth on their own career. So you see how much of an impact there is the communication can make in your career, right? So this is basically very important to understand that there are a lot of things which can be implemented as skills. Skills can be learned. It's not something which cannot be learned. You have to start implementing them, right? Now, why do you think that these people, the 86% population, struggle in communicating what they want to say or articulate their sentences or, express their feelings? One, they might be introvert. There could be communication fear, or there could be something like a rejection handling, issue. There are a lot of questions that goes in mind. I will tell you my experience. When I got into meetings earlier in my career, I kept quiet. I just listened to what everybody's saying, and I came out of the meeting when the meeting is over. That's it. Now, this is something very important to understand, that when you get into a meeting, you are invited to a meeting because you are somewhat important person in that meeting, right? Then your contribution in that meeting will make a lot of impact or add a lot of value to the discussion. Now, if you restrict yourself to add value or to put up your question, then you are restricting your growth there. You see, no question is a wrong question. If you have a question, go ahead and put up, right? If you think that why will I ask the question? What difference it will make, right? What if people will think that this is a stupid question, right? These are the questions which restrict yourself to ask a question, to start communicating, right? So let me tell you this, that there are so many information which are lost if we don't communicate. Now, for example, if I ask you to come online with me, definitely you'll say no, because there is a fear that you carry along with you, which prevents you from communicating, from expressing your feelings, from articulating your thoughts into your sentences and speak up. Now, let me tell you one thing. There is a myth which says that, which everyone believes, that if you don't know fluent English, then you have a communication problem. But let me tell you this is not true. If you can articulate your thoughts into a sentence, which is not so good English, I think it's a communication. You can communicate your thought and someone else who is listening to you can understand you. That means you're communicating. So get out of this myth, move away from this thought process that if you don't know English, that you don't know communication. So this is one thing which you have to start implementing right now, that start speaking. No matter if you're wrong, start speaking, right? Let me tell you about my story. I still have that fear of rejection handling. I went to my daughter's school for a storytelling. There was an event. And I was so prepared with my story reading. I read the story book a night before I was supposed to go. I went to the school, and as soon as I sat down in front of four kids, I was completely lost. My fear came in. My fear of communication, or what you can say, rejection handling came in. Right? I was not thinking that these innocent kids or the kids who do not know how to judge will say something, but the people around me who are looking at me, that how I'm reading the book or how I'm reading the story, is he making a mistake? Is he saying it right? Are kids interacting? Those thoughts came in my mind, and that made me so stressed, and I started being nervous. I started sweating. My speech was, I was shivering, and I was thinking about what should I say. In that fear, I forgot to read one page of the book. Now, can you imagine how dangerous this fear of communication can be? But then the best part of this is I took that opportunity to go and speak in front of someone. You know what? Public speaking. There's another myth everybody has, that if you talk in front of 10 to 15 or 100 people, then you're speaking in public. But you know what? The reality is, if you are speaking to someone else, then you be it one person or two person, it's public speaking. So if you have that mentality in your mind, in your thoughts, that public speaking is scary, just get rid of that and start doing it, right? So importance of communication at workplace. Let me come to that point. How many of you proactively reach out to your managers and ask what he expects your goals should be? No one. That's the reality. We wait for them to guide us, or we write our own goals, we submit it, and that's it. We forget. By the end of the year, we review them, we update something, and then we wait for a salary hike. This is not how it works. What you should do is reach out to your manager. Reach out to your manager, write a first draft of your goals. What do you need to achieve by the end of the year? Right? Reach out to your manager, review it. Right? Now, this is one sort of communication, that you're reaching out to your manager. That's a proactive communication. Right? Reach out to your manager, review it, get a feedback, update your goals, and keep it handy. Now, every month, you start setting up one-on-ones with your manager. This is another set of communication. You are building a relationship, you're making communication. And as soon as you start getting or as soon as you start taking action on your goals, communicate. For example, I will do certain training or certification. Now that's your goal. But as soon as you enroll yourself for trainings, communicate. Hi, I am enrolling myself in this training. Just wanted to let you know. That's it. A small email. Your boss, your supervisor is informed. That's a communication. Once you complete the certification, again send out a note. Hi, I've completed my certification. Just wanted to let you know. Add it to your banks. These are your achievements, and communication is important to show you how you're interested to reach your goal, how are you taking efforts in reaching your goals, right? The next is you have to review your goals every quarter and see how are you reaching your goals, and make sure that your supervisor is aware of those action items which you're taking, right? Now there are a lot of things which are component of communication. Excuse me. There are a lot of things like email communication, how you write emails, how you best use Outlook or any email tool which you use in your organization, how you can communicate or proactive communicate your presence in the office, when are you available, how frequently you can meet, update your calendars. There are a lot of things in communication which comes in picture. So start implementing these things and you'll see a lot of change in your way, the way you communicate, the way people look at you. Now there are a lot of things which I want to talk about. Something is like common mistakes which people do. I've seen a lot of senior level people making this mistake. And it's okay, but it's not, it doesn't look professional. If you know that this is a mistake, then you start thinking that, okay, if he can make, then why can't I? Right? I'll tell you some certain sentences which is very funny or very interesting to know that common mistakes people do. For example, if someone asks you, do you mind if I take this pen? What is your answer? Yes, please go ahead, take this pen. Right? This is your answer. But this is the wrong answer. When someone asks you, do you mind if I can take this pen? There are two parts of it. Do you mind? And if I can take this pen. Now your answer should be, excuse me, now your answer should be, no, you can take this pen. So the answer, do you mind, is no, I don't mind. And can I take this pen? That yes, you can take this pen. So remember this, whenever someone asks you, do you mind if I take this? You should say, no, please go ahead and take it. Right? Something very enlightening. Yeah, I know this is. There's one more sentence or one more thing which I've always noticed that people say, and a lot of people say that yesterday night. There is no word called yesterday night. It's always last night. Right? I've seen people saying yesterday night I was at some place. Yesterday night I did my work. Yesterday night. Yesterday night is incorrect. Right? So you have to say last night. So make sure that these are very its and bits of communication which I'm just telling you, right? There's one more thing people usually say is with the past tense they add a past, something like didn't. So usually when I hear didn't knew, I didn't knew this. This is incorrect. You cannot have didn't and knew together. I didn't went there. This is not the right way to say it. So you have to be very confident and sure. You have to be, train your mind. Whenever you say didn't, you have to say like go, didn't see, didn't take, right? So didn't took is incorrect. So these are very basic thing about communication, or how you can implement these things on improving your communication, right? Now, I have created a framework or a process, and it's a huge process where we talk about best practices of communication, how to use your Outlook, how to communicate your work progress, how to interact, how to build relationship through communication, how to manage your time, a lot of things in this process. But I'm going to just pull out some best practices which I want you to know and start implementing if you want to, and then you see how your communication is transformed immediately, right? The first thing which you need to do is forget everything and be confident in what you're speaking. If you speak something, even if it is incorrect grammar, I think it's okay. If someone is correcting you, accept it and don't repeat that mistake again. So first thing, you have to be very confident when you speak. And when I say very confident, that means you can speak the way you want to speak. You can speak slowly, think and translate and speak. I know it's a very common habit of people thinking in their region or their language which they are very comfortable in, translating that and then speaking. But sometimes what happened in this process, your opportunity is lost, where so for example, if someone is asked a question, you think how to answer it, and then you're not able to answer it because the time is not there and things like that. So make sure whenever you speak with confidence. There's one more tip which I want to talk about that helped me is read books and articles. This is one of the best techniques you can start implementing now. At least read 30 minutes every day. Either read a book or read a newspaper. Newspaper is one of the best tools to improve your communication, your vocabulary, right? Start reading books. They are your tools to improve your communication. The third thing which I want to talk about is you should have a pocket dictionary or a mobile app which helps you understand certain words while reading. If you don't understand what does it mean, you can immediately check in your dictionary what does it mean and how that word is used in a sentence, right? So this is very important. You can slowly build this habit, and then slowly you'll get rid of this habit, and you will be so confident in understanding these words because now you have developed that habit of understanding these articulations of sentences, and you start implementing them, right? The fourth thing which I want to talk about is something which is very important is don't rush. If someone asks you a question, you are so in rush of answering the question that you forget, and then that's the reason you end up fumbling your answers. When you're explaining certain things to someone else, slow down. Your speech must be so clear to someone that they understand what you're trying to say, right? It should not be like extremely fast and you're just trying to complete the sentences because you are scared of speaking, or you just think that the time is not there. It's okay if you're one or 2 minutes late, that's fine. Or if you're taking 1 minute to think and then answer, it's okay. But answer it slowly, or talk slowly, or speak slowly so that people understand and you get time to process information and then deliver your speech or whatever you want to do. Right. The last and the most important point which I want to talk about is practice and repeat. The more you practice, the more you repeat, the more confident you become, and the more, situational handling experience or expertise you'll get. That, for example, if you start, getting involved in your presentations, right? Take responsibility of giving a presentation. Prepare for that presentation. Repeat. Stand in front of a mirror and repeat what you want to say. Make a flashcard. Look at those flashcards and start repeating those, and see how these 5 techniques will transform the way you communicate, right? So this is very important. These 5 points are important. There are a lot of other important things which I'm going to talk about in my later videos, but this is what I want to make sure that to kick you let you start your journey of developing your communication skills. I know there are a lot of questions. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat and I can try answering that. But make sure that whenever you experience this situation that you have to speak or you have to present, don't run away from that situation. Try to grab that opportunity and overcome your limiting beliefs. This is very important because once you start doing these activities of presentation or group discussions or meeting, getting yourself involved in meetings, ask questions, give a lot of inputs in your meetings, and over communicating to your boss, to your team, to your friends. Let let this practice be imbibed in you, and then you see how you can transform yourself at your workplace. So the importance of communication is on a high scale, and then you need to bring yourself to that scale so that you are at par what the requirement is at your workplace. If you are into business development, I think this is one thing you must learn: to talk, to speak, to articulate sentence right on the spot. If you are a business analyst, you have to understand how you can write a document. Documentation is one of the way you can communicate, right? If you are a person who is an influencer or a person who has a higher designation, you need to know how you can influence your subordinates. If you are a fresher, you need to know how you can communicate to others or superiors to make sure that you highlight yourself and you grow in your career. If you are at a mid-career professional, you need to know how you can balance between your superior and your subordinates. So everything boils down to communication, how you are a better communicator. So at workplace, communication has the most important place with all other skills you have. Technically, you might be strong, but if you cannot communicate how strong you are, nobody will realize or understand how strong you are technically, right? So start implementing these habits, start implementing these techniques. And now when you understand that communication is one of the most important skills you need to develop in your career, just get into it. Put yourself in that place where you are all ready to learn, right? Spend some time in your self-development, read some articles, get a book, start reading. If you have an opportunity to, join a Toastmasters club, best opportunity for you to, because I think most of the organizations have these clubs. If you fear communication, if you have public speaking fear, start your Toastmaster journey. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a key influencer, I think Toastmasters is one of the best places for you to start getting involved in. So this is what I want to talk about. Any questions anybody has? Sagar, Rucha, Ruvashi. All right, so I quickly want to talk about what my plans are. So I'm just gonna make sure that you understand what are these lives about. So I am trying to make sure that I come online or live sessions. I do live sessions for giving all these information at workplace, right? How you can grow as an ace performer, what all roadblocks you have, right? How you can tackle those roadblocks and how you can get results. In turn, for example, if you're struggling with your performance at workplace, if you're struggling with your mental status at workplace, if you're struggling with getting hikes at workplace, I think I'm going to talk about a lot of things where you can start improving yourself, your ability to perform better. And then, of course, when you perform better, you get recognitions. When you get recognitions, any which ways, you're going to get salary hikes and promotions. So my ultimate goals are people should be an ace performer at workplace. And I'm going to be sharing more information on my Facebook Live, what all the sessions I'm planning in upcoming weeks. The things are that I want that everyone who is struggling with performance at workplace should overcome that and be an ace performer and start getting promotions, start getting, double-digit salary hikes. And that's what my goal is and my mission is. So thank you for this such time today. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you soon next time. Be focused, be dedicated, be consistent, and be invincible.